This is Steve Cochran, and this is Live from my office. Man, am I glad you're here, because if you weren't here, why would I be here? Live in my office, bringing you today's festivities, which is going to include my sermon on voting. All the excuses people have for not voting, we're going to shoot them all down one by one. I want to thank our presenting sponsor, David Hochberg and Team Hochberg. You can get a hold of David and his entire team at 855-56-DAVID or go to 56david.com. You're going to save so much money. I don't know what I have to do to tell you, other than to tell you, you need to do it. In addition to that, a little bit later on, instead of just mentioning a charity, an interview with Vince Pellegrino from the Evans Scholars Foundation. It's a great charitable cause tied into the PGA Tour and the BMW Championship at Olympia Fields in Chicago, just a matter of days away. And a chance for you to win before we're done from Apt and the fine people at Apt Electronics. That's all on the way. We begin with some words on voting when we come back on Live from my office. I'd like to personally thank presenting sponsor of Live from my office, David Hochberg, and the folks at Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Look, he's passionate about helping listeners, and he's done it for years and years and years. And I trust him with my own family. My sister has done 2 refis with David. My daughter is about to do her refi on her first home with David. And also that ne'er-do-well, that drifter from town to town that, you know, John DeCoste from the Steve Cochran Show. He helped John and his family enhance his credit, refinance a previous home, secure the financing on his new home. Point being, if I'm kicking all of the people I care about to David Hochberg, well, then I think you can trust him. You can trust what I'm talking about. I've had great experiences. Is he loud? Of course he's loud, but he's loud because he cares. Here's how you get started. Go to 855-56-DAVID. That's the phone number. Pick up the phone and call him and talk to him. The website is 56david.com. You can refinance to pay off debt that you might have. You can ask about your student loan situation, reverse mortgages to help you or your parents with housing challenges, buying a new home. Again, the bottom line is this. I trust him. And I think you should too. Just don't let him in your house for too long. Easy to contact. It's David Hochberg at 56david.com or call him up at 855-56-DAVID or 855-56-DAVID for Team Hochberg and the home help and the money help you need. Team Hochberg, presenting sponsors of Live from my office. Welcome back to Live from my office. I'm Steve Cochran in my office where I'm live. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about voting. There are so many excuses people throw out as to why they don't vote. I'm here to tell you, Election Day is 74 days from today. Make your plans to vote right now. There's no excuses. In 2016, Donald Trump lost to Hillary Clinton by nearly 3 million votes. He's the president of the United States because he won the Electoral College in the crucial states of Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania, states that were almost guaranteed to go Democrat. Guess what? They didn't. Trump won those 3 states by a total of 80,000 votes. That's less than 1 percentage point in each of those states. But because of the weight of the electoral votes in those states, he ends up in the White House. That's how thin the margin can be. But let that sink in, because 100 million eligible voters didn't even bother to vote. And if you're under 40, know this, your voting block finished dead last in turnout. In other words, those with the most energy put in the least effort. So here's the deal. Let's tick off 13 of the main excuses people give for not voting. Not you, the other people. And by the way, these are in no particular order. Excuse number 1, my one vote doesn't matter. Yeah, actually it does. Congress, state, and local reps and issues, look, they're way more important in your day-to-day life than the presidential vote is. You're not just voting for president. There are so many things on your ballot that matter. And because those races matter so much to you and your life in your state, and because the margins in those races are so much smaller, your vote is vital. So don't buy into this and don't use that as an excuse. Yes, your vote matters. Did I mention this? 80,000 votes swung the White House. 100 million people didn't vote. Repeat after me. My vote matters. Excuse number 2. The system is broken and it can't be fixed. Look, those that make the rules benefit most from the rules, so why would they change the rules? That's the attitude that keeps the system broken. The only way to fix the system is to be an engaged voter and vote. Change matters. Be part of that change and vote. Look, you can't fix it all now. This is one of the things that people get really frustrated about. I want it to change. I want it to change now. It doesn't work that way. Democracy is the best, worst form of government in the world. And the American democracy we all live under and the freedoms we enjoy is a real pain in the ass a lot of the times because things don't get done. And people in Congress in particular who don't have term limits have been sitting there forever. That's not supposed to be a career. That's not what the founding fathers set up. You need fresh blood. You need new people in there. And even though you can't fix it all now, the only way you're going to fix it long term is you got to start changing the people in charge. And the only way you can do that is by voting. Excuse number 3. I haven't voted in years. Well, bad habits are meant to be changed. Saying you won't vote because you haven't voted lately, it's frankly kind of dumb. Just because you haven't voted doesn't mean you can't go out and vote now, or vote by mail now, or vote absentee now. Change your story. Be a part of what will be good in this country. The more people that vote, the better the situation is. Now, that brings us to excuse number 4. I don't know who to vote for. Gee, how could that problem possibly be fixed? I know. Google it. Use that thing we call the internet. It's a thing you use every day to post pictures of you doing stuff. So how about you post a picture of you doing research on who you're going to vote for? It really isn't that hard to do the right thing. And if you need more help, you can go to ballotpedia.org or votesmart.org. There's so many great resources there. As a matter of fact, on Ballotpedia's homepage right now, if you scroll down right under the little blue box, it says Coronavirus Pandemic 2020. There's a number of topics, one of which is changes in voting by mail and absentee voting. And they literally, when you click on that item, will give you every state and what their regulations are and how they're planning on getting the vote done this year. And that's just Ballotpedia as part of this. As again, votesmart.org will break down the candidates in more of a deeper dive as well. Between those two, when you don't have to spend a lot of time doing it, you will know who to vote for, and you will be prepared on November 3rd. Both are great resources. See, right now, I mean, there's nothing out there called Wikivotia. So as I mentioned, ballotpedia.org or votesmart.org. Get on those. Excuse number 5. I don't like any of the candidates. You know what? I don't like them either. But if it makes you feel better, most of them don't like us. It's nothing personal. It's a power thing. Truth is, you got to pick the one you like best. The least worst. Do that, and we're eventually going to have candidates that you do like a lot. Look at it this way. If you want a beer, but the bar doesn't have the beer that you want, you don't go, I guess I'm going home. No, you pick another beer. So drink up, Sparky. It's almost election day. Excuse number 6. These races are all too mean and nasty. Yeah, it's unpleasant. But you don't have to watch the uncomfortable stuff. Turn it off. If it's online, go somewhere else online. Once you've made up your mind, don't allow yourself to be depressed by the redundancy and the negativity of all those campaign commercials. Pay attention to what matters. Do your homework. Pick your people. Make your choice. Excuse number 7. It's really hard to know how to register. Nah, it's really not. Google it. Or just go to vote.org. That's right. There's another site for you, vote.org. It'll take about 2 minutes, and you will know exactly how to register where you are. And, of course, I told you before, registration and voting and all that information is also available on Ballotpedia. Excuse number 8. I don't want to vote because then I'll get jury duty. It doesn't work that way. Jury duty, and by the way, separate topic, but you want to enjoy the fact that you've been picked for jury. No, I didn't bump my head. No, I haven't gotten too much sun. I sat on a couple of trials. I was jury foreman, as a matter of fact. It's an extremely important part of American society and our justice system, and it's an honor to serve. Yeah, it sort of sucks because of the time, and they're not paying you anything, but everybody should have to do it at least once. And by the way, the jury duty pools come from things like having a driver's license and paying taxes, and that's pretty much all of us. Excuse number 9. This year, voting is just too risky. We don't know that. We don't know that it will be too risky on Election Day. We don't know that it won't. Look, everything feels risky now. It feels risky walking outside. But if you're concerned about going to your polling place, look into whether your state has early voting from all the resources we've already talked about. There's nothing wrong with voting early. As a matter of fact, I recommend it. So yeah, this is a different year in every way, shape, and form. But I have faith in you. You can do it. We all can. Excuse number 10. Yeah, I'm just not interested. I don't feel like it. Apathy, really? Your friends don't feel like it, so you don't feel like it? You don't get to do that. You're a grown-up. You know that this matters. And by the way, yeah, I don't care if you've never voted. You're going to feel better when you do. Try it. Do your part. I'm not dopey enough to believe that there's not going to be millions and millions of people that don't vote this year. Just don't be one of them. Excuse number 11. Cynicism. That's right, cynicism. It's hard not to be cynical because, it's all about them. It's all about the politicians. It's all about what they want. It's all about what they do. They all lie. They can't be trusted. Look, the only way to get the people you want involved is to vote for the people you want to have involved. And there are some really good folks that are running. I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but it's not just about the White House. So put your cynicism aside and vote. Rule number 12. Cool. Rule number 12 is gerrymandering. And I don't like your sarcasm, by the way. Gerrymandering is the process by which the party in power stays in power because they determine what the district voting map looks like across your state. You end up with candidates who are in safe seats and they never leave. So you go, why should I vote? Because, as we've established, it's not just about one office. You need to be there for all the other offices as well. That's why it matters. And finally, excuse number 13. Yay! Again, not crazy about your attitude. Excuse number 13 is you don't have time to vote. Look, this is the lamest excuse of all. You have the same time we all have, 74 days from today. So get your sitter set, your babysitter issues, your work stuff, your kid schedules. Work it out now because this is too important. Your vote matters. You have to be there to vote. 100 million didn't vote last time. It can't happen again. If you were one of them, we know how to fix it. Vote. And how about a new rule? We'll call it the Cochran rule. And that is if you don't vote, don't bitch. This is live from my office, and we're going to come back and talk to somebody from a great foundation. Look, charities are getting hammered this year because of 2020. Did I mention 2020 sucks? But this guy and the work they do at the Evans Scholar Foundation is cool, and I want you to know about it. We'll talk about it when we come back on Live from My Office. Live from My Office would not be possible without the help of great partners like Team Hochberg and specifically David Hochberg. I've known David for a long time. Some people think that I may have bailed him out of prison at some point. No, it wasn't me. But David Hochberg's had a very interesting career as well. He's done a lot of different things, been successful at all of them, but I think this is the niche because for many, many years now, he's been helping listeners get the most out of their homes, whether it's a financing of a new home, a refi, helping out with something like a reverse mortgage. Look, he knows the money stuff that you and I and most people glaze over about. Now, how do I know that? Well, because I use David Hochberg. I've used him before. I'd use him again. He helped me with a refi of a home equity loan. In addition to that, he's working with my daughter on a refi of her first home. And my sister's used him twice. Good enough for my family, you bet. And my friends, too, like John DeCoste. And by the way, a million other people who worked with me at WGN. Just about everybody there at one point or another consulted David Hochberg for help in regards to maximizing the value of their home and maximizing their money, because he knows this stuff. And don't lose sight of the fact that your credit could be enhanced by one of the Hochberg team members. He's got a guy who is so good, he can take you from the front of the limo to the back of the limo in short order with some tricks and tips that are perfectly legal that you would never know about and I would never know about. But again, this individual is part of Team Hochberg. It's David Hochberg, Team Hochberg, making the most of your money, making you feel better and taking some of that pressure off, the weight of it when you think, look at this monthly payment, especially now in COVID year. So take advantage of David Hochberg. Make sure you pick up the phone, go to Team Hochberg's website, that's 56david.com, or you can call him up, 855-56-DAVID. David Hochberg, 855-56-DAVID, or 56david.com. This is live from my office, where every time we do a show, we always focus on a charitable organization that I love, that I've supported, that I'll always support. And here to talk about a great foundation is one of the, I'm going to be honest with you, he's one of the big shots. It's Vince Pellegrino, and we're going to talk about the Evans Scholars and the BMW Championship, part of the FedEx Cup playoffs and the PGA Tour, and a lot to plow through here. But first, Vince, how are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I mean, considering everything else that's going on, I think we're doing okay.
I would never ask you this question, but could you ever imagine playing in front of no fans? I mean, it's just crazy, right?
It is. And just when we thought we were going to be able to play in front of some fans, I think we're on, maybe plan number 776, I think it is, of trying to figure this thing out this year for the BMW Championship. Just when you're thinking maybe we can have 500, 1,000, 1,500 people out here, and it's a 200-acre property at Olympia Fields. Can we have some fans? And then it just got to a point where, we weren't able to. So it's tough. Yeah, it's tough not to have a pro-am. It's tough not to have spectators out there. Not what any of us expected going into this, but either is 2020.
Well, in the foundation, and we'll talk about the Evans Scholars in just a second, but the support comes from a lot of different revenue streams. But one of the big ones are the folks that are good enough to contribute a large amount of money to play in pro-ams with these guys. Golf is unique about this. Nobody is telling you, hey, why don't you go skate with Patrick Kane and give us a little money for the charity. So it's a great opportunity, and that's got to be a hard hit not to have the pro-ams that you normally have.
It is, and those are direct contributions to the Evans Scholars Foundation, and obviously it's one of our most popular assets for the championship, and to be able to play a round of golf, with a professional the day before the championship starts is a big deal, and so not having that, it's certainly a blow to the scholarship. But we have some unique, creative ways to continue to raise money for Evans Scholars during championship week. So, we're going to be fine, but it's definitely, it's hard.
I assume the tour deserves some credit here, right? Because by locking it down as hard as they have maintained a bubble where they haven't had a breakout like they've had in baseball, and certainly what football is going to have to face. And they've been able to keep playing. So, I mean, good for the tour, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've really been on the forefront of getting back to sports. And I think just inherently golf is a sport where you can be socially distant, you're outdoors. It really lends itself well to being able to get back to playing it. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is that it takes a lot of people to put these events together. Sure. But the tour they have really done an incredible job with their health and safety protocols and making sure it's safe for the players, the caddies, and the few volunteers that are out on the golf course. So having them be, starting back up in May at Charles Schwab down in Fort Worth and having it go this long. There's been a few positive results on tour, but it hasn't slowed down the championships, knock on wood. I mean, hopefully everything goes well this week and next week for the BMW championship. But, they've done a really good job. These are independent contractors. So, losing one player or two players a week, doesn't kind of shut down the whole system like it might other sports. So it's working so far. Hopefully we can keep it going.
By the way, we should thank your host, right? Because Olympia Field stepping up creates the opportunity to play at this amazing venue, and the tour has an experience and a relationship with Olympia Fields, but it's the members stepping up, it's the community stepping up. Yeah. And what do you want to say about them?
Well, I got to tell you, they have been the most supportive club that I've ever worked with. I mean, regardless of what's happening in our environment, they have stepped up, whether it's volunteering, whether it's corporate partnerships. We made an appeal to the membership to donate money back, whether they bought hospitality or individual tickets, to donate some of that money back to the Evans Scholarship, and they've exceeded all expectations. Members are going to be volunteering during championship week and just working with this club. And, we all know about how great of a facility this is with the two golf courses, the history that it has, whether it's the U.S. Open, in 2003 or the 2015 U.S. Amateur won by, Bryson DeChambeau, who will be playing out here again. They're just a great club and a great partner of the Western Golf Association, Evans Scholars Foundation. And I wouldn't want to go through this journey with anybody else but them.
And by the way, I should say, since you mentioned Bryson DeChambeau, I also put on 40 pounds of muscle during the quarantine. So I think this is muscle. Well, I'm not sure.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, I'm sure.
So let's explain what the Evans Scholars is, because you and I both agree there's no greater job you could have as a kid than caddy. Why is being a caddy such a cool job to have for people that don't get it?
We like to say there's no better job, no better summer job than being a caddy. And I think it's true. I was a caddy. I grew up, in the western suburbs, caddied at Riverside Golf Club. I received the Evans Scholarship myself to a university I might not otherwise have been able to attend. It's a truly life-changing scholarship, and at the heart of it, it's a caddy scholarship. So you have to have caddied for a minimum of 2 years. You have to have the financial need in order to qualify, and the grades to get there. Now, I think they let me slip on the grades part a little bit. They were just probably trying to fill some beds at some scholarship houses, But normally these kids are really good. All of them are great academic. They're the scholars. They're just really good kids, and they need a chance. And this is a life changing opportunity for most of them. A lot of them are first generation college kids. These are the kids who wouldn't have a chance otherwise, and we're changing lives through this scholarship. So. We've got over 1,000 kids. We reached that milestone last year.
Yeah, congratulations.
1,000 kids. Yeah, it's a big deal. And now we're going to look towards the future. What's next for the Evans Scholars? How many more kids can we put in the school from coast to coast? We've got over 11,000 alumni of the program. And, really, you can imagine in today's day and age with unemployment rates and just the hardship people are going through because of the pandemic, this scholarship is needed more than ever now. And so we're trying to do the best we can and give kids these opportunities. And, it was tough at the beginning of this year,
Sure.
to get kids out to caddy. I mean, people weren't playing golf right away. And then they were playing golf, but not with caddies. And then we started getting into for caddying. And now, there's obviously still some restrictions. We want to make sure the kids are safe out there. But, they're getting back into caddying. And, I didn't answer your first question, but the best summer job, why? Because they're able to be with successful adults, be able to communicate They learn the value of a dollar, of hard work. And I think it transforms a lot of kids, whether you get the scholarship or not. It's just an incredible experience to be out there, outside, getting exercise and earning a dollar. So it's the ultimate summer job as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, look, you learn how to talk to grown-ups. You learn how to problem solve. You learn how to deal with all different types of personalities of people that are older than you. There's no end to it. Obviously, you get a great workout because it's tremendous exercise. I can't say enough about it. And that's why I've supported you guys as well and continue to. And I'm always happy to talk to you about it. So there are kids that there's parents and grandparents listening right now whose kids are caddies. Maybe they're young caddies, 12, 13, 14 years old. How do they get involved with the program going forward?
Well, I think the best thing to do is to really look at in your local community. Where are the country clubs that you're able to get to conveniently for your kid, and really reach out to the club, to the course that you might want to caddy at. And see what the availability is. And typically this happens over the winter, probably sometime in January, February, where they're going to start taking applications to be a caddy, in the spring and the summer. And if you need help with that, the Western Golf Association, this is what we do. So I would just recommend going to our website, WGAESF, which is Western Golf Association Evan Scholars Foundation.org. And we've got caddy information up there, and you can find the nearest club to you, which has a caddy program.
And by the way, it helps if you know golf, but in many cases you don't have to, because they're going to teach you how to caddy and do it the right way. The experience. I
didn't know anything about the game of golf. I knew nothing about the game of golf. I just I heard about it from a family friend and tried it out, and it not only has given me, I'm in the position I am today because of caddying, because of the Evan Scholars Foundation. But it's a game of life. Like I am absolutely love the game of golf, and I'm going to play it for as long as I can. And it's really a game for life.
And the positive goes well beyond the college years too. If you're lucky enough to win an Evan Scholarship, it's a family that always supports its family members. Our friend Dr. Kevin Most will be the doctor on site for the BMW. His better-looking brother Brad Most had a great career in advertising. That those 11,000 alumni have helped change our world too, whether they were doctors or managers of companies or entrepreneurs or whatever the case may be.
Well, and I got my first job through an Evan Scholar alum. Hired me. And so I'll never forget that. And it's part of a big family. There's 11,000 other people who've gone through this program. And there's certainly a lot of networking that happens. And that's the other benefit of caddying as well. Those club members that you are carrying the bag for provide advice, even job opportunities after you're done and you're ready to go. So I think that's obvious. I can't say enough about the caddying.
And I think you'll back me up on this, but as caddies of a different era, me in the 70s and you in the 90s, attitude and a want to work. That's what you start with. A good attitude and wanting to be there and wanting to learn and wanting to work hard. That'll get you in the front door most places. Well,
they're life lessons. And then I think, they translate well into the workplace as well.
So I'm glad you didn't challenge me on the 70s and 90s thing. I don't want to let people know how old you really are. So again, the website for the Evan Scholars Foundation and Western Golf for people to get more information on everything you guys do is what?
Is WGAESF.org.
And I can still make my donation right there, right?
Absolutely, no question. And like I said, during championship week, there's going to be even more opportunities and things that we're going to do during tournament week. And you'll see it on the Golf Channel on Wednesday as a special match that we're going to have to raise money for the Evan Scholars Foundation, and obviously during championship week. And there'll be plenty of mentions and great storylines about the Evan Scholars Foundation during tournament week.
Well, in all sincerity, you have done a phenomenal job. It's a small group, I'm telling you, at Western Golf. They do an awful lot of work, and I salute all of you guys. I thank you, my friend, and have a great week. If you ever caddied, you know what a great job it is. And the idea that you could send caddies to college, it's not just changing their lives. It can change our lives, too. So I hope you will support the Evan Scholars Foundation. Oh, a couple of plugs, and they go like this. The Trump Dump is on, and it's on every day on Twitter. Follow me at Cochran Show on Twitter. Do it now so you don't forget. And each day, it's a countdown. It's a countdown of all the ridiculous things Donald Trump has done in his first 4 years, and his only 4 years he's going to get in this job. Why remind you of all the bad stuff? Well, because we're so numb to all of it, we tend to forget all of the crap he's pulled. So, yeah, I'll bring it up. I'll remind you the big stuff and the little stuff and share it with your friends so everybody reminds themselves this has to end. And one other reminder, you can win yourself an apt gift card just by helping us out. We want to get a bunch of names together of folks who will listen to this podcast, who will tell their friends about this podcast. It's guerrilla marketing, if you will. So if you send me at least 3 names of your friends and their emails to thecochranshow@gmail.com, I, in turn, will drop those friends of yours a note to say thanks for trying the podcast. Hope you'll tell your friends. And then you will get an apt gift card. So it's very simple. You send me at least 3 names of friends in their emails. I will send them a note. They'll be thrilled with you, trust me. And you'll be thrilled because you'll get an apt gift card from the great people at Apt, my friend Steve Shapiro and the brothers Apt, and me. thecochranshow@gmail.com. Wow, that's a lot of episode. That's a lot going on live from my office, but I'm glad you were here to witness it. It's almost that point at the end of the show where I go ahead and put my mask back on. But in the meantime, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Cochran Show. Check out the Trump Dump every day through Election Day, and we're inside 100 days. A brand new segment. It's a fact. It's something he did or something he said that'll remind you, even if you forgot 1 or 2 of them, because that's the point. We forget so many because there's new crap every day. The Trump Dump will remind you of why this guy has got to go. Again, that's on Twitter at Cochran Show, and I appreciate it. And of course, as we mentioned many times, subscribe wherever you pick up your podcast or wherever you pick this one up. Make sure you're a subscriber so you never miss an episode. And one other reminder, you can win yourself an apt gift card just by helping us out. We want to get a bunch of names together of folks who will listen to this podcast, who will tell their friends about this podcast. It's guerrilla marketing, if you will. So if you send me at least 3 names of your friends and their emails to thecochranshow@gmail.com, I, in turn, will drop those friends of yours a note to say thanks for trying the podcast. Hope you'll tell your friends. And then you will get an apt gift card. So it's very simple. You send me at least 3 names of friends in their emails. I will send them a note. They'll be thrilled with you, trust me. And you'll be thrilled because you'll get an apt gift card from the great people at Apt, my friend Steve Shapiro and the brothers Apt, and me. thecochranshow@gmail.com. Now, I was hoping that would fill the episode. We'd be out of time, but I've been getting this flash on my screen because there's another call to take, and I think I know who this is. Hey, Bill, you there?
Hey, CBC, what's happening, baby?
This is my new agent, Bill Loney, and Bill and I have only been working together a couple of weeks, but hey, I appreciate the call. Is this something we can take care of off the air?
No, I got to take care of it right now. These things got to happen right away. When I get these offers, I gotta call you right away, Stevie C.
Oh,
I gotta take care of this right away, Stevie C.
This is an offer for me. Okay.
Well, I'm always thinking about you, baby. I'm always thinking about you. I got stuff on the line. I got, hey, what's out there for Stevie C? And I got you. You're all set up. Week from Sunday, I've got you at 77th and Wentworth. I got your personal appearance, Popeye's Chicken. They love you. They ask for you specifically. They think you're the best, and it's a great deal, Stevie. There's nothing to do. You know, they're going to pay you cash, baby. They're going to pay you cash. You also get a 2-piece, one-side chicken dinner. Take advantage of it while you're there. Here's the deal, Stevie C. I want you. It's nothing to it. There's nothing to it, baby.
Okay.
You're going to stand by the condiment aisle. That's all you got to do. There's a condiment island. You're going to stand there. You're going to sign some autographs. You're going to take some some selfies. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. There's nothing to do. It's going to take you 15, 20 minutes max, maybe 5 hours. There's nothing to it. It's easy for you to do.
And
it's right up your alley. They ask for you specifically, baby. And all you have to do, every once in a while, I want you to push the Louisiana Curds.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. So I'm handing out some condiments, and then every once in a while, what am I pushing?
All you're going to be is you're going to push the Louisiana Curds, the jalapeno park rind soup. Just push that every once in a while in the 15, 20 minutes, 5 hours that you're there. There's nothing to it. You got what I'm talking about, Stevie C?
Louisiana Curd sounds like a medical issue. That's something they sell?
It's exactly what they sell. It's their big thing this month. And here's the deal. They want you, Stevie C. They said, hey, is there any way he's available? I go, let me call him. Let me find out.
Okay. Well, listen, I have other questions, and I don't like talking about money, in front of other people. But we have to talk a little more. But it looks like we're going to have to wrap this up. So
no problem. Listen, Stevie C, baby, I love you. You know you're my number one guy. I've got Russell Crowe on the other line. I got to talk to him. But you go to Popeyes a week from Sunday, 77 Wentworth. Right. Okay. And hey, listen, I got to go. By the way, you got to dress like Popeye. Take it easy, buddy.
That's my brand new agent, Bill Loney. Things seem to be going well for me. Thanks again for listening to Live from My Office.
Live from My Office is a service of Monkey Run Productions. All rights reserved. The podcast is hosted by Steve Cochran, and it's mixed, edited, and produced by me, Ross Cochran. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening, and follow Steve on all social media channels. Get in touch with us directly with questions or comments about the show by emailing thecochronshow@gmail.com. Steve is available for corporate speaking gigs. He would love to MC your event, and occasionally, he's funny. Thank you for listening. Head to cochranshow.com for more.
That's all.